months early.
Yeah.
He was just
Yeah.
off by a couple months.
I really should replay this because since this game came out and I first played it, COVID happened and then I had a kid, so it might hit real different.
It might be, yeah. It's I would say, because Max, I know you were intimating it a little bit, but like you crammed this game in like a very short span, and this is a game that I think like works best as a slow burn. Like, it is absolutely not a game for everyone. I completely understand the faults and criticism people have with it, but like my most entertaining moments of it were like, I would go back to it a couple nights per week and just, build a couple pieces of road and maybe go to like one outpost and then just drive along for a little bit, and like people would give me a thumbs up and I'd give them a thumbs up. Like there's something nice and methodical to that, but as a thing to mainline and rush, this is not a game.
It's
for
also
that.
like, it's a very weird sort of social game in that sense. It's like, that kind of passive social interaction, but at the same time you're in this isolated landscape, and playing it like pre-launch, there was, people were building ramps and doing that stuff, and it was all really cool, but it didn't have the level of involvement that I think it would have if I'd waited 3 weeks or whatever. People,
right.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to have to build that entire race course or not. I hope not. That might take a while.
Yeah. I just want, go ahead.
No, just because I think what's really cool is seeing, like, I feel like Kojima is a brilliant dude, and he's got a bunch of weird little ideas and weird big ideas. And I feel like we're going to get a bunch of his like sort of napkin sketches here, which is super cool. Stuff that maybe wouldn't have worked as an entire game, weird concepts and designs and characters and settings and themes and stuff like that. And just, weird vehicles and robots and stuff. I love like when he can commit to something like that as a full game, but also seeing a bunch of those small things is great. I mean, even if you didn't like this game, you can't not be happy for the people who did, getting a whole bunch of weird new toys to play with in the sandbox,
Yeah,
I've got two
director's
thoughts.
cut.
Oh, sorry.
You go ahead. No, you go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, two thoughts. One serious, one less serious. But the first thing is, so I'm playing Death Stranding on PC, right? And I think a lot of the improvements over the PS4 version that you can get in PS5, way faster loading times, is going to help a ton for people. The PS4 load times were a nightmare, and my computer can load up after a death in like a couple seconds, and I think PS5 players are going to get the same thing, and it just makes a world of difference. And the second thought is, that joke about Bloodborne cart?
Yeah.
Yeah. I like how Kojima I'm going to make Death Stranding cart. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you just need a new car game, just put it in an existing game. Yeah, it's an interesting one. And Brian, you were joking a little bit about it earlier, but sort of the director's cut naming of it. I feel like between this and Ghost of Tsushima, director's cut is just a thing Sony is doing, and not necessarily like true to the game, because as you're saying, the whole point of Death Stranding was letting Kojima have his vision unencumbered by the corporate oversight that it was wrapped up in so much of the Konami drama.
It's brilliant branding if you think about Sony, what they're trying to do with sort of presenting games as these massive cinematic experiences. And it's brilliant branding if you don't think about it for more than 3 seconds at all. Because the directors who made these games, they're continuing to make these games. And like this isn't really like a Snyder cut situation where like they lock the studio and they're like, don't stop coming in here and photoshopping all the the weird alien men into the movie.
And it's a mix of refinements and new additions. Like the combat will be improved here, but there will also be just new big battles, in the same way that like Ghost will have a new island to go visit, but is also making updates like the vocal track. They will have the facial dubbing, or the facial animation matched to the Japanese voice track. So it's like it's a mixture of things that I think makes sense. Director's cut is just as you said, it makes sense for what PlayStation wants you to think of their studios as, but it's
especially with the shift to PlayStation Studios, it very much kind of fits that, kind of naming convention. But it's also it's so much less tacky than like Game of the Year edition, which is what we used to get for this kind of thing. Sure. It was this makes it feel like, oh, this is how this is the final version, as opposed to like, this is a version that's it's got the quotes on the box and it's $20 cheaper maybe. No, not really.
Yeah,
it's got
we drew all over Batman.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's got a garish like greatest hits collection banner ribbon somewhere in the box art.
Yeah, you want a case that doesn't match the rest of your other games? Here you go.
I didn't see any monkeys you can pet in Death Stranding Director's Cut, so Ghost of Tsushima still has the edge right now. But I think
naturally
that,
better.
We should do a comparison, because they did not add race cars to Ghost of Tsushima. So there's
very true.
pick your
They might have
poison.
horse racing. We don't know that.
You take the good, you take the bad. I was going to keep going, but I don't need to reference a 50-year-old sitcom. Anyway, moving on from there were a few other games that I think are worth bringing up, including let's talk about what started the show, because I think it speaks also to what wasn't there in an interesting way. Moss 2 was announced. This is, of course, a sequel to a pretty beloved, probably one of the more beloved PS VR titles. It's available on other VR headsets as well, but Moss 2 was brand new, announced at the beginning of the State of Play just for PlayStation VR. So of course, before the show they had said PSVR 2, next gen PSVR, whatever they want to call it, wouldn't be here. So this means that this is probably a little bit closer on the horizon than VR2. Like, I do want to talk about what we think it means for the next headset, but Moss I thought was a really, really charming sort of first round of what PSVR could do. I hope this sequel takes into account like a lot of the advancements some other PSVR games and VR in general have made. But Brian, what do you think about this announcement?
I love the first Moss. It's one of my favorite VR games ever. It's adorable. I think it does really smart things that you can't really pick up on this trailer, where a lot of VR games have you sort of play in first person and interact with stuff. But there's also the ones that sort of let you look down on something as if it was happening in, a little stream in your backyard or on a table in front of you. And this game does a really good job of playing with scale. Again, when you're just looking at here, you wouldn't really know, but when you're actually experiencing this in VR, looking down at it as like small miniatures running around on the table, I love that so much. I do think that the timing on this is very odd, and that has nothing to do with the studio making this game. It looks awesome, but for Sony themselves to sort of be in that weird window between PSVR, which is not really a thing that anyone is seeking out anymore. That I can't even imagine how many of those they're selling every single month right now. It's probably abysmally low. Especially because it doesn't really, like, nothing about the PS5 to the average consumer is screaming, you need a PSVR for this right now, and then we saw in that weird PlayStation blog thing where they're like, hey, we have the PSVR 2 is in the works, but we can't show it to you yet. And so I think it's interesting to not have an E3 press conference, have a State of Play a month later, kick it off with a VR game that works, with your hardware from 5 years ago or whatever, that uses controllers from 12 years ago, and then not have anything to say about your new VR system yet. I'm glad on behalf of the developers that they gave Moss 2 a showcase. That's awesome. It felt weird and off to kick off the show with a game that is ostensibly on very last gen hardware at this point.
Especially unless I'm not mistaken, not forsaken. Unless I'm forsaken by the PlayStation gods among us. No, this was the only VR game, as far as I can remember. At least the only VR only game. And yeah, it's a very weird time for PSVR because it's definitely, as you were saying, it's 5-year-old VR tech using controllers from a decade ago. We know there's something new on the horizon. I just I really hope the game is great, but I also can't help but think, but what if they were just allowed to take advantage of VR2? And that's not to say they probably can do a remastered version for VR2. I'm sure it'll look great and play great. As you said, I'm really happy for these devs because it's a great game and I can't wait to have more of this world, but it's a very strange moment for PSVR.
So I have a theory there.
Yes.
The first Moss was a timed exclusive for PSVR, then came to Quest and Vive and all that other stuff. If the PlayStation VR 2 is further away than maybe we think it is, if it's still a year and a half off or whatever, and this is also a timed exclusive for that, maybe the devs just want to get it out there. Maybe they just want to get it out for PS4, and then when eventually it can come to PSVR 2 or whatever. But if they've got a timed exclusivity window, I can assume that maybe they don't want to wait around for the second iteration of PSVR to show up. And
right.
I mean, I'm spitballing here, but
no, I mean, could you imagine Sony launching new hardware right now?
When people can't buy their other hardware?
You can't buy their other hardware. The install base for PSVR was Wii U numbers, which at the time made it one of the best selling VR headsets on the market. But I can't even imagine them being let's take the amount of PS5 owners right now out there and then ask them to buy into another $300, $400, $500 ecosystem on top.
This
of
is
it.
a
That's
really
crazy.
weird thing to kick off this state of play with, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I was just going to say, like, speaking to Brian's point, like, super excited, like, in a vacuum for this game. Very happy for the devs to be able to have it out there. But yeah, it is a strange marker of what's here, especially because so much of this state of play was focused kind of on the next 3 months. Like, this was really about July, August, September for the most part. And so to have this one in here, just briefly, I want to point to Ryan McCaffrey actually spoke to the developers of this. He's a huge Moss fan, probably the biggest Moss fan on the IGN team. So he spoke to the devs for this announcement. And they said, one, that the biggest piece of feedback was just that people wanted more of the game. So this one is definitely going to be a larger experience. But he asked about PSVR 2, and they said, we don't have anything to talk about regarding next-gen plans at this moment. But they haven't announced any sort of release date as well. So it's a strange moment for this game and for PSVR. But yeah, they showed off the VR, next-gen VR controllers like a couple months back, which seemed shockingly early. But excuse me, like with console shortage, I don't know how you all feel, but like with console shortage, chip shortage, all these sorts of things, like I thought maybe PSVR 2 could come in 2022. I'm now thinking probably not till 2023, maybe,
right?
Like maybe late 2022. It just doesn't feel like the right time.
I think the only sense of urgency I would feel if I was Sony is that the PlayStation VR is no longer the most accessible VR headset on the market, right? Now they've got major competition from the Quest, and like every year there's no consumer grade competitor alternative. Facebook is just going to keep consolidating that sort of casual VR market.
I know exactly how to solve this. I can solve this right here. Sony, bundle PSVR 2 with PS5 and sell it for $1 less than the average scalper sells the average PS5 for. And you will still sell PS5 units. You will have a 1-to-1 conversion rate of anybody buying the PSVR. Still a standalone option too for people like me that already have a PS5. That's the only way to do it, because they're selling every single PS5 they make. And so if they glue it to something else, by that logic, it's got to sell too.
Hey, it worked for the Kinect and the Xbox One. What could go wrong?
Exciting days ahead, regardless. But yeah, no, it's congrats to the Moss team on Polyarc for announcing Moss 2. Very excited to play it, but yes, a very interesting time to be a PSVR owner.
One thing.
Go ahead.
I think it would be really cool if they use this game to show off PSVR 2 whenever it happens, because we know what it looks like in PSVR. Even if you haven't played it in VR, I feel like it's got very clean aesthetics, and you kind of get a sense of like what graphically it's capable of. And if the next PSVR iteration is capable of doing way more, which obviously it will be, that I think it's a very easy to do sort of side by side graphics comparison of like, here's what it looked like on the last one, here's what it looks like on the new one, and you can see the mouse's hair as opposed to it just being sort of a round white shape.
Just to quickly double back, also breaking news, the PlayStation blog post for Death Stranding has finally gone up as we're talking, and speaking to the save transfer thing, they do confirm that saves will be transferable.
Looks like I'm playing the director's cut.
Yep, that makes me so much more excited to play that thing, because I was like, I want to dip in, but I don't know if I'm going to play 70, 80 more hours of it. But yeah, that's a very good sign. They also mentioned it will include haptic feedback, bespoke adaptive trigger resistance, 3D audio, ultra-fast SSD loading, and then we'll have two picture modes, performance mode with upscaled 4K and up to 60 frames per second, or fidelity mode in native 4K, both with ultra-wide and HDR support.
I feel like DualSense is going to be awesome in this game over different types of terrain, and I feel like 3D audio for the baby screaming is going to be the worst thing I've ever heard.
Oh yeah. God, yeah.
Can you imagine the feeling in your hands when you're trying to like wade through that goop? The goop?
Oh yeah.
Right?
I mean, Kojima made a Game Boy Advance game, or published one, where you had to go outside to charge up your vampire killing sunlight gun. So like, I feel like giving him a thing with haptic feedback is going to yield some interesting results. And I know what it feels like to calm a real baby. I don't know what it feels like to calm a BB when I'm being attacked by Muddy Buddies from the Death Stranding.
You're gonna get 3D audio if your kid starts crying.
This is like a really bad game to play if like my kid's asleep, because I'm gonna have the monitor next
audio.
to me, but then the baby's gonna be screaming out of the controller, and it's gonna be the same size speaker. It's not.
That's gonna be like how they shot The Matrix, but with just babies crying in a circle around.
Like gunshots on the 4th of July. What could go wrong?
Oh jeez.
Oh man. Anyway, blowing right past that. Just to speak a little bit more to it, they do mention in the blog post, basically addressing what we just spoke about. It's almost like they're listening. The new content isn't simply bolted on either. It's been carefully woven into the core game experience and will be made available through discovery as you play. Most of the content is fairly easy to find, though there are some bits and pieces that will take some time to find and unlock. Also, interestingly, all of the content from the PC version, that was the Half-Life and Cyberpunk DLC content they added, will be available in the Director's Cut, which is funny.
Wait, so
yes.
So your saves carry over, but to experience all the new content, you will find it naturally through playing the game.
So my guess is that basically, like, if you are starting it up for the first time, it will just be woven in. But if you're, my guess is it's like if you are jumping into a late game save, you'll get, calls to you that are like, oh, by the way, have you checked over here? Something changed in that area recently. Like probably.
I like the idea of like, there's like a race car driver calls you, and then like a speed ramp guy calls you. And
I mean, that's how they wove in the Cyberpunk DLC, right? Is that you got an email that's like, hey, remember this old area? Fast travel there. There's something weird, and you check it out and you get a thing. And
I think it's gonna be all stuff like that. Just to quickly bring in some comments from the community, Foam Knuckles said, I'm going to give the Director's Cut a try. Just looks really interesting and out of my comfort zone, which you need sometimes so you don't get too stuck in the same cycle of games. And yeah, there are a few things to compare Death Stranding to. So definitely if you're looking for something a little bit outside of the cycle of games, though maybe not the cycle of life, Death Stranding might be.
It's like a cross between Paperboy and Yoshi's Island. That's basically what the game is.
There you go. You got it. You got it in one. Moving on from there, a few things to just quickly mention. Sifu got another trailer. This was premiered at a State of Play earlier this year as well. Really cool looking beat 'em up action game from the makers of, oh god, I just blanked on the game.
Absolver.
Thank you, Absolver. Yeah. Thank you for that. Really cool looking game. As we all sort of joked about during the show, and Altan, I'll throw to you, one of the most interesting delays I've seen ever in a trailer.
Yeah, so the whole sort of like gameplay trailer thing shows a lot of different like sort of numbers that are with a motion graphic moving around. And then at the end of the trailer through to the release date, which we all thought was 2021, and then changed to 2022, which totally sucks. Like they made like a custom animation for a game delay, which I guess is funny, like is in a, in retrospect, but in the moment I was like, what, that don't do that. Like that, like I really wanted to play this game this year. This is like one of my most anticipated PlayStation games this year, and it's not this year anymore. And they did that through a clever animation, which I felt a little cruel.
It was really funny because it's mirroring, as you may have seen in the trailer, it's mirroring sort of the aging up, because your character, every time you die, I believe your new character is a little bit older. And so it was mirroring the like age effect for their transitions that they were using. But yeah, when it changed, I thought it was going to give us the date. And so it was just really funny to be like, oh, they're changing from the year to the date. And no, it's just a year later. The release date has aged as much as your character ages.
They should have been like you, and then they put your age, and then it just gets a year older.
Nonetheless, still looks really cool. As Brian was saying, like, can't wait to play this one. I believe during the premiere, Matt, you were saying during the show, but you spoke to the developers earlier this year when the game was revealed, to dig a little bit further, so people can go check that out from a few months back if they want to hear more.
Yeah, it's a cool game. The developers are very nice people, and they seem really, a lot of them at the studio learned Shaolin Kung Fu. I think one of their founders is a big practitioner, and because he's a big practitioner, a lot of the other devs like started joining him, and so now I guess like half the team just practice Kung Fu in France because of this game, and I mean, good for them. So I'm really excited for it.
Bringing people together. Moving on from there, a couple of the other cool indies that were shown off. Jet the Far Shore, which I believe debuted at that June showcase last year for the PS5 as well. This is the latest game from the Sword and Sorcery devs. We got a bit of a lengthier deep dive into this one. Max, what did you think of this one? Because I think you were comparing it to a couple games that seemed to track with me while we were talking, sort of like Flower-ish.
What was I saying? I don't know if... Oh, did you say Matt?
I said Max, but Max or Matt. any of the
I don't think
ends.
that might have been Matt who said that. I mean, no,
Fair
it looks, you know, like a very kind of chill, spacey kind of, you know, indie game. I'm kind of getting Tacoma vibes from the crew, you know, like you've got this strange group of characters that I guess you're going to get to know, and then, you know, the bulk of the game seems to be flying around in this little hopping jet spaceship. But then there were also, you know, first person shots of climbing ladders, and then you know, shots of the crew hanging out eating, I think, curry. And it's yeah, it looks definitely like one of those kind of, you know, for I mean, if we want to be blunt about it, it looks kind of like Death Stranding if you pulled the camera back really far and made it a lot faster, which seems like a nice kind of laid back experience. But yeah, look, I don't know what this is. I don't know what this game looks like, and Sword and Sorcery is definitely not a conventional game in any sense. So it's, you know, this looks like it could be really interesting.
I got real. You remember the opening shots of Prometheus where that big gray man was standing over the waterfall? I got like that was the only thing that I was thinking of when I kept watching this trailer.
I see that. What if you made a whole game out of those 5 minutes of like beautiful nature shots?
Yeah, just that 5 minutes of really interesting Prometheus mystery, but then the rest of the movie happened.
Yeah, we won't talk about that part though. No, yeah, I think this one looks really cool. The pedigree of the studio is a really awesome one, and yeah, I'm just curious to know. Like, this showed a lot more gameplay than I think we've seen before, but I'm just really interested to be like, what does an hour of playing this game look like? Because you're right, it bounces between different perspectives, different things you're doing in the ship, out of the ship. I just kind of want to know what we're going to be doing, you know, for a chunk of it, but I'm definitely excited to see more of this one. A few of the other games just to mention that also popped up during the show. Arcadegeddon was announced in early access today. This is from the Ilphonic devs, who, if you don't know, made Predator Hunting Grounds. This is their latest game, free of an IP. It's not related to any sort of existing established brand, as they made clear in the trailer. It's available in early access right now. Matt, I do believe you had brought this up before it happened, and then when it happened, some Splatoon vibes definitely in there a little bit.
100%. Yeah, I mean, you know, I mean, it's a multiplayer PvP-ish with colorful goo, right? The connecting thread.
That's a way to go.
Between Splatoon, this game, and Death Stranding.
There you go. Yeah, it looks cool. I'll definitely give it a try. It's nice that it's early access, and I believe we can just jump in today on PS5. So if you're a PS5 player, you might already be playing that as you're listening to us. Just very briefly want to mention Fist, aka Forged in Shadow Torch, is coming on September 7th. That was the 2D bunny game. That looks pretty cool as well. We got a post-launch planned look at Tribes of Midgard, which comes out a little bit later this month, I believe the last week of the month. We got word of Hunter's Arena, which is a 30-player battle royale coming to PS4 and PS5 in August 3rd, I believe that one drops, and then a few other updates from various other games. But I sort of wanted to talk just about overall impressions before we wrap up, because we were talking a little bit during the show, and Brian, I guess I'll start with you. You know, PlayStation wasn't at E3 this year. This is their first post E3 event, sort of after everyone else has gone. We haven't heard from we saw the Horizon Forbidden West, forgive me, State of Play right before E3, but before that, it was the State of Play in, you know, March or February. What did you think of this as a post E3 showing for them? Do you feel like we're just not going to get big shows from them anymore? Because this felt sort of like a brief check-in, not like a here's everything PlayStation.
Yeah, I think you totally just nailed it. Contextually, like, that makes a major difference here, is that this is still sort of within the, you know, E3 was 3 or 4 weeks ago. So we're still sort of basking in that a little bit, right? There was a ton of announcements there that people are still really excited about. People are looking at IGN, watching the trailers over and over every single day. And so this feels like not only did they miss that party, but they kind of showed up a month late with, you know, just, you know, a couple of beers and some snacks, which is good. You know, that's fun. We can hang out. But like this didn't really feel like they were part of the big conversation this year. And in terms of the pacing on this thing, I thought it was interesting and it had some good ideas. I'm a little bummed that it didn't have like a one more surprise type thing. But on the flip side, ending with Deathloop means that if you didn't like it, you could have stopped watching, assuming you also didn't think there'd be like a post-credit stinger like everything has now. But yeah, all in all, I mean, it didn't really feel like a big hyped event. It had some cool stuff in it that I'm excited to play. It was nice to hear from them, so I won't complain.
Yeah, it's I'm really happy at the very least that they set expectations for these. They really seem to have been burned by the first couple State of Plays, and I think putting in like, we're not doing God of War Horizon PSVR 2 at this. It helps kind of put your expectations in check that this is not the future of PlayStation. This is, the next couple weeks of PlayStation. Max, obviously we've been covering a lot of, these PlayStation showcases the last few years since they adopted the state of play model. What did you think of the show overall, and what did you feel like? Was this the right first post E3 move for them?
I mean, if we're going with the social gathering comparison, I feel like this is less showing up to a party late with a few beers and snacks. This feels more like showing up, you skip the wedding, you're showing up midway through the reception and you're horribly underdressed. Like this is obviously a bunch of really cool games, and I think it is good that Sony definitely told us to sort of keep our expectations in check, but it also just makes me wonder, when are they going to show the big stuff? Like, they put out a new console last year and then they skipped E3. Like, when are we going to see some big exciting stuff? I mean, we got that big, the future of gaming or whatever, with the big PS5 reveal that happened last summer, which wasn't a state of play. That was treated like its own kind of standalone event. So I don't know if we're going to get another one of those that's treated as a much more, spectacular sort of tentpole event. But this just felt, this was, I mean, it was underwhelming. Like, I'll say it. It was, there was some cool games in there, but as just an overall reveal of new games in the middle of the summer, when I assume that Sony was just sort of sitting on something, and I hope they are, because they put out a new system last year. But yeah, I mean, this was whatever. There was some cool stuff, but I'm not super excited about it.
Matt, what about you before we wrap up? What did you think of the show overall?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Max. Like, we know there are cool things coming down the pipeline for PlayStation. Like, we know from last year's event that Final Fantasy 16 is heavily tied together with the PlayStation ecosystem. So I'm not worried about the future, but it does seem like there is something strange. Like, we kind of talked about it briefly, but like, they announced PlayStation VR 2 but as a blog. They sort of showed the controller a couple weeks later, and then they did the state of play thing, and they did a separate Forbidden West thing. It feels fractured, and it's not sort of the trend that we're seeing, right? Like, Nintendo Directs and other third-party publishers and Xbox are all doing this one big show for their next couple of steps, but PlayStation sort of just throwing random bits and bobs across couple months, and it doesn't feel great, to be honest. I don't know if it's an intentional strategy. I don't think it's working out for them, if I'm gonna be honest.
It's definitely a weird cadence, because I think, like, had you put this together with the Horizon Forbidden West state of play, you would have had an hour show that would have been anchored around a really cool thing, and I think we'd be talking about it in a different way, especially if it like opened with Deathloop, closed with Horizon. You have this really big sort of moment. It is a really strange thing, and I don't know what the cadence is going to be going forward. It's a weird one. As I said, this covered the next few months, but we didn't see stuff like Kena, Bridge of Spirits, which is, coming in August and supposed to be really big. Why wasn't the Ghost of Tsushima announcement here instead of at, a random blog post? I feel like there could have been more to it. We didn't see stuff like Little Devil Inside, which was at the showcase last year, that a lot of people were hoping would be out by now. I think there was a leaked trailer that said July or so that people were looking for that. It's been a strange time for PlayStation. We're definitely looking at a lot of exciting things ahead, but sort of a very immediate roadmap, not a lengthy one. So we'll have to continue following these as they happen. I'm sure we'll have more state of plays to come. Brian, Max, Matt, thank you all so much for joining me for this week's episode. As always, you can find us all on Twitter. I'm at JM Dornbush. Brian is at Agent Bizzle. Max is at Max Scoville, and Matt is at Law of TD.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Awesome. I haven't had to do it on the show before, so I just wanted to be sure.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But anyway, thank you all so much for joining us. And thank you for everyone out there who watched, who tuned in live, or if you're watching the VOD of this later or listening in audio. Thank you so much for tuning in and supporting the show as always. We love doing this, and we love to get together and talk about PlayStation events, no matter the size or scale. But that's about going to wrap us up for this week's episode. Thank you so much for listening and watching. And as always, beyond.
Beyond.
the feeling of like being in a firefight and hearing the click of the gun, throwing it down, grabbing one off the wall.
So my gunner's upside down and he's like laying in. I see kill assist, kill assist, kill assist.
Any pistol across any of the games. Whatever gun allows me to feel the most like John Wick, I am there.
And remember how excited I was with like this big combat with vehicles going all over the place.
Halo means something different for everyone, right? I think that's what makes Halo great.
Well, what is Halo multiplayer? And for me, it boils down to this tight arena-style combat and big team battle, this wide open, vehicle-infused kind of combat. We're taking that awesome legacy or classic Halo combat experience and modernizing it in ways that'll feel fresh to old players and really exciting to new players. We're gonna give you great ways to customize your Spartan, really make your super soldier your own, and we're kicking off a journey, an experience that's gonna evolve month to month, season to season, year after year.
For me, working through this multiplayer of this game, and the toughest challenge I think was really about how do we respect the legacy of what came before us, but still build something that feels new.
We've tried to bring all these elements of legacy and really inject them into Halo Infinite, not just like in a way where you kind of won't notice it, where you feel like, oh, they really designed this to be a celebration of previous Halo, as well as an iteration of where Halo can go next. The vision of Arena was all about a tight experience. It was all about being fair. It was all about earning everything on the map, earning everything, every kill you get.
Going back to like what is the core foundation of what made the great Halo multiplayer arena matches great. Halo, it's really about fair and balanced starts. So everybody's on equal footing when they come off the rip. And then once they start running around, it's about scavenging. It's about finding new toys and kind of developing your playstyle as you run through the match.
What makes Halo feel like Halo? I feel like the answer to that question is the sandbox. Like, the sandbox is Halo.
When we set out to look at Halo Infinite from a high level and the direction of what it is, there's lots of exciting things there because we really wanted to push what are the things that are true to Halo, but what are the things that fans haven't seen yet.
Equipment is back, but equipment is kind of has a bigger voice than ever before. We ask questions to ourselves of if you could go after a power weapon to get a bunch of kills, would you do that, or could you go and get grapple to make sure that you swing yourself to the other side of a map to backcap a stronghold? We saw it as like another avenue of not just skill expression, but tactics for teams to coordinate around.
The exciting combinatory nature of this toy plus this toy and how those interact with objectives is super amazing.
Looking at how the power-ups play, like your classic power-ups like the overshield and the active camouflage. For this title, what we're looking at, what we're excited for, is you pick that up and you choose when you activate it. It goes into your inventory. If you haven't used it and someone kills you in multiplayer, you drop that overshield and then they can take it, use it for themselves. That to me is very legacy, but we took the equipment side of it and modernized it. When it comes to the vehicles, we went in and decided to invest a lot in the systems. When I take damage in my Warthog, my wheels can get blown off, my hood can get blown off. There's different aspects of the vehicle that change how my vehicle handles now. And that's something that's brand new.
The other thing we added to that is like this doomsday mechanic. So when you hit this threshold, the vehicle catches fire, and it's very much, you've got a certain amount of health or a certain amount of time, and you gotta choose what you wanna do with the last minutes of this vehicle.
We've got a cousin to the Warthog, which is the Razorback.
The back has this like multi-storage compartment that you can put a lot of stuff into. So if you want to put like detached turrets, power weapons, fusion coils, objectives, and that is what's really making the Razorback kick a lot of butt in MP and campaign.
The levels define pace for the game, how frantic it is, and they define that iconic fantasy for players as they're entering that match. What do they want to do? What type of experience are they hoping to have? What kind of combat, what kind of dance floor is there available to have that combat in?
For me, BTV is all about experiencing the full extent of the sandbox of Halo in just one match, right? Like you see the vehicles, the weapons, the equipment,
we really wanted to take that kind of concept, those feels you had, playing the previous games, and just turn the volume up. Vehicles are no longer just spawning at bases anymore. We have pelicans delivering them, and we have a commander in your ear telling you that pelicans are going to be dropping off these vehicles.
Scorpion tank is inbound.
We have Halo 2 style Delta Halo mission weapon pods that fall from the sky to resupply the field.
That's where it makes it feel like a real battlefield, and it's very exciting.
This is not just more players, this is just this certain beautiful slice of sci-fi chaos.
The announcer is your big gameplay moments, your game modes, just like the way it was before.
Play. Catch.
Personal AI is really a reflection and information for the player.
Personal AI. Designation button.
So if a player grabs the flag, your personal AI is going to tell you to, get that thing back to base and give you some moment-to-moment updates.
Our team took the enemy flag.
What if we can let players choose their own AI, and each one of those are different voices, so that players can find the one that fits their personality and their mood the best?
They add to the sense of me as a Spartan being more important, and for us in multiplayer it is really about becoming a Spartan. You're Spartan. You are you inside of the Halo universe.
The body of customization content that we have on day one ensures that there will be millions of customization combinations for Spartans on the battlefield. That includes things like armor coatings, armor emblems, various armor effects, down to the individual armor pieces. So your shoulders, your gloves, your knee pads, your helmet, your visor, your helmet attachments. Then you look at weapons, and we've got a whole slew of customization offerings there. Vehicles have a huge pool of customizations too. We support customization in the game. Players can do the same thing on HaloWaypoint.com, as well as the Halo Waypoint app.
The player also customizes the Spartan, the soldier inside the suit. We want the Spartan to represent the player as much as possible. They can change their body type and their voice, as well as choose prosthetics for the first time.
Coatings offer us a unique opportunity to craft some hyper-polished looks and let you express yourselves in ways you've never been able to before. We're coming at this from a player-first mentality. So what that means is that there's no random loot in this. There's no loot boxes. It's very important to us that everyone understands exactly how they unlock customization content, and we have a variety of places where they can do that. First off is the Battle Pass.
The Halo Battle Pass will never be taken away from you. And what I mean by that is once you buy it, it's yours and does not expire. In future seasons, you can purchase old battle passes as well as the current battle pass and choose which battle pass to put your progression towards.
All of these rewards are single source, so you're never going to be confused about where things come from. If you can unlock something in the battle pass, we're not going to let any other players circumvent that by purchasing it out of the storefront.
A lot of our stuff is unlocked through playing the game and only through playing the game. All customization is just cosmetic.
Every season will have its own theme and introduce new components, new looks, new gameplay for players, new opportunities to earn and collect cool rewards. We've seen the Samurai already. That's one of our event armor cores, and that's going to be something that players can earn through gameplay for free.
With us going free to play for the multiplayer part of the game, that was a big goal because, how do we have a way we can always bring players in, right? And they can, when we have a new update, they'll just dip their toes in if they even just want to see it.
Not only are we free to play, but we're free to play on PC as well as console. And what that means is we're able to get the biggest audience we've ever had. Everybody gets to play with no barriers. And even better, your progression carries from one platform to the next.
Getting our game to be on PC and console at the same time is an amazing chance for us to really just kind of excite new players about the game. How can we do things like make cross-play interesting, and even in just customs, being able to just play with your friends. That some people have PCs and some people have consoles, and let them talk to each other, let them be friends.
Why are you here?
To be a Spartan.
The Academy is a place that you can go within MP to kind of onboard into the experience. It's great for newer players who are still picking up the controls, and also people who want to warm up before they head into matchmaking. It's a series of experiences, both a tutorial to get started for the first time, weapon drills to practice with specific items, and also training mode that you can use to just get warm, explore the game as you want to.
For players who are new to Halo, let's help them learn what this universe is about some of these characters, what are they about? And help them kind of know the vocabulary that people have been speaking for now almost 20 years, so that when they come in there, they don't feel like they're behind everyone else. They can kind of come in on an even footing.
I mean, I'm super jazzed about bots. I think they're awesome. Our goal with bots has been to have a variety of difficulties that kind of provide a good training partner for wherever you're at in the experience.
Partnering with our players on the road to launch and after launch is absolutely critical, right?
I mean, Halo's always been about the community conversation.
We want to make sure we hear our players, make changes where we can based on that feedback, make sure the game is ready for launch, and then even beyond launch.
What I'm genuinely excited about is taking the game out of our hands and putting it into the community's hands. You know, whether it's seeing what people make in Forge or the content that they're able to create with theater, watching streamers go after the game.
To get involved, you go to haloinsider.com, put in your info with your gamer tag, and we should be able to reach out to you if we want to invite you to a Halo Infinite flight.
We feel like we've got a pretty good selection at launch and what's going to be there for our fans. And this isn't going to be something that is just a static set of items. We have some new stuff in the works already, and just can't wait to really get into that as soon as this game comes out.
New maps, new modes, new ways to customize your Spartan. Launch is just the beginning. Now we're just going to be able to talk, interact more frequently, and that's just going to be great. That is the future of Halo Infinite multiplayer.
Thank you to the community for all their feedback over the years so far, and I'm looking forward to the road to launch, launch itself, and beyond.
Play it day one with Xbox Game Pass.
facility should be ready to fire in just a few more days.
We don't have a few more days.
But a premature firing will destroy the Ark.
Deal with it.
Will destroy this installation. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. Protocol dictates action. I see now that helping you was wrong. You are the child of my makers, inheritor of all they left behind. You are Forerunner. But this ring is mine. Damage! Damage! That hurt me like damage! Damage!
Welcome back, guys. So, we are, if you're confused, we are getting more gameplay in about 30 minutes. And I could probably just re-upload the video because it's premiering soon on Halo Waypoint. But I just had so much fun yesterday that I thought that maybe it would be more fun to just sit here and watch it with you guys. So, yeah, I feel good. I slept like a baby last night because I know everyone has like a different understanding of, different perspective of what they saw yesterday, but I feel like Halo is back. And I'm not just saying that, like, my number one thing with you guys has always been being fully genuine and honest and upfront. I'm not going to pretend to be more hyped to get more views. I'm not going to pretend to be, you know, super negative to pander to people that hate Halo, but honestly, genuinely, I feel like Halo is on the right track. So I feel good after yesterday, honestly. I feel really good. That was fun. That was fun seeing, like, actually being thrown off a little bit because I was so reserved yesterday. Also, let me know, can you hear me all right, guys? Is my audio fine? Probably just going to spend a second checking it real quick, actually, myself. But let me know if it's good on your side. Seems like it's fine. Cool. Well, welcome back, guys, if you were here yesterday. If not, it is pretty early. I actually just woke up about 25 minutes ago. And I was like, you know, okay, I should probably, I didn't set an alarm. I was like, I should probably check to see, is that overview coming soon? Is it going to be at my 11 again, or is it going to be at, is it going to be sooner? It looked like it was going to be sooner, and thankfully I checked it when I did, because I was like, oh, all right, time to put on pants. You know, I feel this might just be me, but I feel like I need pants to do a stream, you know? Even though I don't have a face cam on, I feel like everyone can tell if I have pants on or not. So that's just me. Do we know if they're planning on monetizing this since it's free? Yeah, dude. We do. You know, if you guys... I got people telling me to take my pants off now. I know, really. I mean, in just celebration of yesterday, I should just wear no pants. I mean, why be civil anymore? I mean, Halo's back, right? And just let me see actually real quick. Yeah. So here it is. This is what we're waiting for. My God, 7,000 people are watching the main stream. So, but you know, you shouldn't be missing out much. I'm not going to talk during it. I'm doing this live in 1080p, so it should be pretty much the same experience as the OG source. And also, thankfully, our chat is not being spammed, so that's cool. Hope I didn't just jinx it. But you light theme, yeah. You know, I used to have dark theme, but it looks cleaner. You know, the white theme on YouTube. So why don't you guys let me know what your thoughts were on yesterday's showcase? Because we got Master Chief talking to Cortana 2.0. And then we had some multiplayer gameplay. The spam yesterday. Yeah, that's one benefit of being here, is that you're not in a, it's not overcrowded. Although we actually did get 4,500. I think we topped out on 4,500 viewers yesterday live. That was shortly before and after the actual reveal. And then right now, which is pretty cool, 600 live viewers. So yeah, welcome guys, welcome. Maybe I should probably share this to my social media. So there's probably a lot of benefit on streaming on Twitch, but I just feel like if YouTube can just promote my streams here, there's not much reason to do it. I might start doing memberships, but you know, the joining the thing, but I'm not quite sure what benefits I would give besides like maybe extra Lost Wolves behind the scenes and stuff. But some people have been asking about that. Are they showing off new stuff today, or are we just watching? No. So this is brand new stuff. We got new gameplay that is confirmed. New gameplay in about 20 minutes here, along with some coffee. Yeah, I just got me some coffee. I'd probably do face cam, but I don't know. I don't feel like I look great as of late. And also, I'm moving a bunch of stuff around my room, so you know, I did just wake up after all. I'm not taking today so seriously as yesterday, but we still have gameplay coming in just a minute. And then Thursday they're gonna break down stuff. They're gonna break down stuff, which is really neat. But still, today's probably the second best day, just objectively, as far as this time frame goes. What do you think about the new Spartan armor? I love it. In fact, why don't we just look at that again? Because you know what? I might just throw B-roll. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna throw the video I did up yesterday right over here, but I'm just gonna mute it and talk to you guys live, because this was really, really informative, I think. And if you haven't watched it, watch it. Because
welcome back, Halo followers. Today we got gameplay of Halo Infinite finally.
Yeah, so let's just yeah, so there's brand new images. There's oh man, I wish I had time to take a dump. Would love raw gameplay footage so we could get the feel of what we're looking at. Yeah, I agree. In fact, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna share the live chat, and there's a better way of doing this. I just really have not had time to do it the fancy way with, you know, special colors and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, what you're looking at is yesterday's video. It actually topped off at 50,000 views yesterday, which is really crazy because the video was not doing very well at first. I think most people's videos weren't doing well right after E3, which I thought was interesting, but then they really took off later in the night, I think, looking at it. So, yeah, I mean, what you see is what you get so far. I mean, this looks like a really cool mixture between Halo Reach, Halo 3, and some Halo 5 gameplay. And we know Sprint's back, we know Sliding's back, but we haven't seen Thruster, Ground Pound. We haven't seen Spartan whatever, where you ram into something. Oh, right here, this ability is really neat. It's the, oh crap, what is this? The tactical something, but basically it's a grenade that you kind of shoot off your wrist because there's wrist attachments, and then you can see where the player is behind walls in a spherical. So it's kind of like Promethean Vision, but it's limited to wherever you fire it, which I thought was really neat. Gravity Hammer looks sexy. I'm excited for Griffball. Certainly that's going to come back, right? There's also the Repulsor, which we see here in a second. How do I feel about the game? I feel like Halo's back, dude. I mean, some of you guys might feel differently, but I feel like Halo's back. So if you're just joining us, welcome. We are not looking at stuff from yesterday. We are actually looking at brand new gameplay coming in about 19 minutes. So stay tuned. Share the stream to your friends. Let them know that we're actually getting a vidoc, if you will. They don't really call it a vidoc. I love this weapon, by the way, a harpoon. I never thought that 343 would actually do it, but look at this thing. It doesn't even really cause explosive damage per se. It's just this impact, which is so cool. It really brings out the banished brute vibe, because they would have a harpoon. Why wouldn't they? It's actually used on a player. I hope the harpoon is more crazy. I hope it can stick players to the wall. Like, that would be really neat. Also, sorry, I'm a little congested right now. So if I sound like a super nerd, it's because I'm a super nerd, but also I'm congested. Oscar Monzo, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Really appreciate that. Thanks for everything, man. Been following for 9 years. Your videos have helped me through school and work. Can't wait for the next mission. Also, YouTube should recommend you more than they do. Yeah, I mean, sometimes sometimes YouTube's algorithm decides to promote me. Sometimes they don't. It's just luck. In fact, even though Halo Follower almost has 700,000 subscribers, only about 15% of y'all are even recommended content from what I see on my side. 15 to 20% are even recommended. And then, of course, not everyone's saying click on the videos. So mainly what I depend on is the algorithm, like most people. And I could complain about it, but I'm just happy that my animations take off. You know, each of them have over 200,000 views. I think one doesn't, but like that, they're just getting so many views, and it's just so cool that so many people are watching those, and which I do want to do more. Why don't you sell merch? You know, my heart's just not in it right now. But that's a good question. So we got 16 minutes to brand new gameplay. How are you guys feeling about stuff? I love how you can grapple enemy weapons that have been dropped. We get our own AI. Right, this video that I posted yesterday, definitely check it out, because it confirms so many things like bots, so many things that weren't at the E3 conference. Also, Bezelis, thank you so much for the $5 donation. Hi, Father. I think right now I think it's the same guy. I'm pretty sure that's my Master Chief voice actor. Yes. Cool. Yeah. I think it was in a Hugh Moran video too. But thank you, Bezelis. I appreciate it. Hi, son. All right, more people are coming in. Welcome, guys. We got brand new gameplay dropping in 15 minutes. So stay tuned. Share the stream to your friends and family. And tell them that gameplay is coming. All right? Brand new gameplay is coming. Oh, you know what? You know, it'd be really nice right now. Why don't we take a look at the sneak peek? Because there's actually a teaser of this stuff. So I actually want to take a look at that real quick. So, what some people are talking about Starfield yesterday, and I never really talked about. I don't know. I don't really have much thoughts on Starfield. I just I think there's potential there, and I know it's been in the works for a long time, and it's been highly anticipated, and it is a Bethesda game, but yeah. I don't know. Okay, so we're gonna play the trailer or teaser that we're gonna see in about 15 minutes. I don't know how long this thing is, the actual video that will be dropping, but we'll be watching it live, and I'll be muted myself. So I want to take your mother Texas to Texas Roadhouse and have a passionate lovemaking with her. Okay. Christian Curbs, thank you for the $5 donation, and for taking my mother out to the Texas Roadhouse. I appreciate it a lot. She needs it. We're trying to watch a video and there's super chats falling in. Okay, 1 second. 1 second. Let's watch this real quick.
Remember how excited I was with like this big combat with vehicles going all over the place.
Halo means something new for everyone, right? I think that's what makes Halo great.
Man, I love the soundtrack so far. So yeah, there it was. It wasn't very long. Just simply a teaser of what we're gonna see in about 14 minutes now. It is confirmed to have new gameplay. I'm just thrown off by that comment by Christian Curbs. I never had a super chat that was like kind of just such a throwdown on my mother before. It was weird. And who does that? Okay, next, Alexander says the 2020s are the decade of the grappling hook. Let's make it happen. Yeah, man, grappling hook is back. That's fun. That's really fun. And, you know, if you guys haven't seen already, we got brand new screenshots. I'll probably just be looping this video. Because there was actually a lot in this thing, you know? So, thoughts on Sprint? Oh my gosh, someone just did a big super chat. Thank you, brother. 20 pounds. Lots of love to a fellow Halo brother. That's funny. I said brother before I saw that. Yeah. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it a lot. I really do. Thank you. Ilidius? What? I think I just suck at pronouncing things, but I also feel like people have some very unique names that are just not pronounceable to me. But El Nini says HCS playlist. Yeah, this game's probably going to launch being competitive. And I don't know. I mean, it really didn't ring as being super competitive to me. You know, when we watch this this gameplay here, you know, which I'll throw up now. I mean, I don't even know.
A new day is upon us.
So cool, man.
A new generation built to fight. Together,
I love this.
we are unstoppable.
And by the way, the chopper, you guys. I mean, the chopper. And you know, I don't even like the skin from this, but it's already been confirmed several times that what we're going to be getting here is customization across the board, not just Spartans, but also on vehicles and weapons, that there's going to be cosmetic changes. So I want to get the classic brute skin, to be honest with you. There's certainly going to be a lot of skins because they got to make up for this game being free to play, right?
Unstoppable. Are you ready?
This, to me, reads as a lot of fun. I love the armor abilities that are pickups, basically, because that's essentially what these are. They're armor abilities. And they're going to be adding more after launch, which is a pretty cool aspect of everything. Did you see the new campaign trailer? I did. Yeah, I thought it was beautiful, man. Absolutely beautiful. When do you think would be the best time to release Infinite flight test things? I think they were talking about July, actually. I'd have to recheck that, but yeah, they're going to be trying to do Halo Insider flights. Pre-release technical previews, as they're called.
Claim the enemy flag. Return it to base.
Power Rangers out.
Ordnance drop inbound.
I'm good, Elite Hub. Thanks for asking. Brand new gameplay, 8 minutes. Hell yeah. Oh, Alexander, thank you once again. I'm a fan that so far there doesn't seem to be mobility ability is like in Halo 5. The slam and charge were so broken. Yeah, I thought they were more redundant than broken, but yeah, I think it also took away some strategy in the game. But that's just me. You know what? I haven't had breakfast, so I'm gonna eat this banana. I think once the multiplayer overview starts, and hopefully I won't be caught with a banana in my mouth when I'm supposed to talk to you guys. So, if you're just joining us, welcome. I am actually
with Xbox Game Pass.
Shut up. Okay, I'm gonna be mirroring the stream over on Halo Waypoint, which is going to show us new gameplay, multiplayer overview, and if you haven't seen it, there's a little teaser. Not much to it, but all you really need to know is that new gameplay is coming in like 7 minutes. So, yeah. Did you see the ragdoll effect? I did, absolutely, my dude. Ragdoll is so cool. I'm so glad that they didn't even care about worrying about how that looks, because the ragdoll is just something that's just gonna have to stay in gaming for the rest of forever. It's so stupid and fun. You know. Oh, also, I don't know if you guys know this. Again, watch yesterday's video, the one that's like Halo Infinite News Blowout bots. Watch that one which we're kind of like, we have the video kind of using as B-roll right now. But listen, guys, no more red versus blue. They're using an outline system that can be changed and modified, that's meant for color blind people that are maybe visually impaired in one way or another. But there's going to be things that, of course, since that Xbox is so friendly towards the impaired and disabilities, then you can expect to be able to change that. So it looks like if you always want to play on blue team, you can set that up in your settings. And I'm excited to see Halo go back to its roots. I've always loved this franchise. I always thank you for providing lore and insight into the deeper aspects and of the Halo universe. Thank you so much, my dude. Wondering Fool for the $10 super chat. You know, I've tried my best. I've certainly made mistakes, but you know, I've tried to give the best service I can for what I do. You know, I want to give back. God, I'm so congested. I'm so sorry. But thank you for the super chat there. I try to do my best. A lot of people complain I make my videos too long, but I mean, I like to dive deep, you know? I like to, and sometimes, yeah, it's to get the extra revenue. I mean, this is my job, you know, but I like to dive deeper more than anyone else. That's what made Halo followers so successful, is making longer videos. Yeah, if I can take a small leak and make a 10-minute video out of it, because I'm going to be talking about everything. I'm going to be talking about other similar leaks and other similar facts and other really cool things, you know? So, 5 minutes to new gameplay. Guys, share the stream on your Discords, on your Twitter, on your Facebook, if you got a friend that's into Halo. Man, it's a good time to have a friend that's into Halo, you know? To talk about, you know, what's going on, to complain about things. Missed this one by Tony B. Jr. Super Chat. A question that also, did the video stop? Oh. I wonder why the video stopped there. Well, there goes the main chat. Okay, a question that no one is talking about. Are assassinations in Halo Infinite? I actually am wondering that myself. I don't think we saw that. So we got 4 more minutes. This is exciting. Not as exciting as yesterday, but assassinations, that's something maybe I hope to see today. I think that there's no reason not to have them, because they're such an inconsequential part of the gameplay. They're not like abilities, and they're fun. And also, as Stelio
Paparazzi, thank you for the $1 super chat. X097 Gaming says, can't wait for flighting to take place. This game will be epic. I know it. Yeah, I got a good feeling about it too. I got a really good feeling about it too. So where is Oh, there we go. Just trying to turn on the music again. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, 3 minutes. Yeah. So, are they going to show gameplay? Yeah, they are. They are going to show gameplay. Any minute now. Any minute. And I'm hoping we get something that's a little bit more calm, because that was a very cinematic trailer. And no, it's not. I haven't even set this video up properly, honestly. Anyways, guys, so this is fun. I really like, as of late, I really like streaming. You know, I don't know if I'm just gonna go right back to not streaming, but it's really cool having everyone here and talking. Halo Swallower, hell yeah, what a throwback. All right, one second. I just have to. Oh gosh. All right. Alrighty. Now I'm panicking. Okay, cool. So I think we're almost ready. Cool. Cool beans. Oh, I feel good. I feel good about this, you know? Like, this is... Man. Also, my God, man. You know, that's 22,000 people are in the main chat right now. Look at that chat go, man. I like our more peaceful, smaller stream, but still a lot of people. Almost 1,700 of y'all. Wood comment, thank you for the $1. Is that Canada? CA $1? I guess it's Canada money. Thank you for the donation and super chat, regardless. Appreciate it. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let's go. I don't really know what else to say about this. I know this is gonna be kind of like a vidoc. It's gonna be there's gonna be gameplay. That's what we're about to get here. So oh, her new name is Vulu. The new AI is apparently named Vulu. I gotta confirm that, but apparently Spanish subtitles say that. Or is that just in Spanish? Like, what is her name in? Is it different if you have English subtitles? But that's cool. That, you know, captions are such an underrated part of like analyzing, but usually they have a lot of pretty important things in there. Technocraft, thank you for the super chat. E3, let's go. Yeah, E3 is not over. A lot of people thought it was, but all right, now we have this screen. God, I'm congested. Okay, when should I start eating the banana, guys? Probably at the end of the... This is a countdown to breakfast. Nintendo tomorrow. Yeah, boy. Okay, I'm probably gonna stretch this out. I don't know why it's... Yeah, alright. 180p. Cool. I'm going new channel as Halo 4 follower. I wonder why people spell it with the A, but thank you. I appreciate it. Mello, thank you for the super chat. Is it, is the volume good, you guys? Okay. I mean, it's probably just loud relative to me, right? This is a pretty loud. I don't know why it's so loud. Death. It's good now, right? Okay. Cool. I might turn it up though because when it starts, because this previous screen is so loud for some reason. So I wish I had a banana cam on right now, so just casually be eating a banana. It's probably gonna get quieter. All right, here we go.
Just the feeling of like being in a firefight and hearing the click of the gun, throwing it down, grabbing one off the wall.
So my gunner's upside down and he's like laying in. I see kill assist, kill assist, kill assist.
Any pistol across any of the games. Whatever gun allows me to feel the most like John Wick, I am there.
Remember how excited I was with like this big combat with vehicles going all over the place?
Halo means something different for everyone, right? I think that's what makes Halo great.
What is Halo multiplayer? And for me, it boils down to this tight arena-style combat and big team battle, this wide open, vehicle-infused kind of combat. We're taking that awesome legacy or classic Halo combat experience and modernizing it in ways that'll feel fresh to old players and really exciting to new players. We're gonna give you great ways to customize your Spartan, really make your super soldier your own, and we're kicking off a journey, an experience that's gonna evolve month to month, season to season, year after year.
For me, working through this multiplayer of this game, and the toughest challenge I think was really about how do we respect the legacy of what came before us, but still build something that feels new.
We've tried to bring all these elements of legacy and really inject them into Halo Infinite, not just like in a way where you kind of won't notice it, where you feel like, oh, they really designed this to be a celebration of previous Halo, as well as an iteration of where Halo can go next. The vision of Arena was all about a tight experience. It was all about being fair. It was all about earning everything on the map, earning everything, every kill you get.
Going back to like what is the core foundation of what made the great Halo multiplayer arena matches great. Halo, it's really about fair and balanced starts, so everybody's on equal footing when they come off the rip. And then once they start running around, it's about scavenging, it's about finding new toys and kind of developing your playstyle as you run through the match.
What makes Halo feel like Halo? I feel like the answer to that question is the sandbox. Like, the sandbox is Halo.
When we set out to look at Halo Infinite from a high level and the direction of what it is, there's lots of exciting things there because we really wanted to push what are the things that are true to Halo, but what are the things that fans haven't seen yet.
Equipment is back, but equipment is kind of has a bigger voice than ever before. We ask questions to ourselves of if you could go after a power weapon to get a bunch of kills, would you do that, or could you go and get grapple to make sure that you swing yourself to the other side of a map to back cap a stronghold? We saw it as like another avenue of not just skill expression, but tactics for teams to coordinate around.
The exciting combinatory nature of you know, this toy plus this toy and how those interact with objectives is super amazing.
Looking at how the power-ups play, like your classic power-ups like the overshield and the active camouflage. For this title, what we're looking at, what we're excited for, is you pick that up and you choose when you activate it. It goes into your inventory. If you haven't used it and someone kills you in multiplayer, you drop that overshield and then they can take it, use it for themselves. That to me is very legacy, but we took the equipment side of it and modernized it. When it comes to the vehicles, we went in and decided to invest a lot in the systems. When I take damage in my Warthog, my wheels can get blown off, my hood can get blown off. There's different aspects of the vehicle that change how my vehicle handles now. And that's something that's brand new.
The other thing we added to that is like this doomsday mechanic. So when you hit this threshold, the vehicle catches fire, and it's very much, you've got a certain amount of health or a certain amount of time, and you gotta choose what you wanna do with the last minutes of this vehicle.
We've got a cousin to the Warthog, which is the Razorback.
The back has this like multi-storage compartment that you can put a lot of stuff into. So if you want to put like detached turrets, power weapons, fusion coils, objectives, and that is what's really making the Razorback kick a lot of butt in MP and campaign.
The levels define pace for the game, how frantic it is, and they define that iconic fantasy for players as they're entering that match. What do they want to do? What type of experience are they hoping to have? What kind of combat, what kind of dance floor is there available to have that combat in?
For me, BTV is all about experiencing the full extent of the sandbox of Halo in just one match, right? Like you see the vehicles, the weapons, the equipment.
We really wanted to take that kind of concept, those feels you had, you know, playing the previous games, and just turn the volume up. Vehicles are no longer just spawning at bases anymore. We have Pelicans delivering them, and we have a commander in your ear telling you that Pelicans are going to be dropping off these vehicles.
Scorpion tank is inbound.
We have Halo 2 style Delta Halo mission weapon pods that fall from the sky to resupply the field.
That's where it makes it feel like a real battlefield, and it's very exciting.
This is not just more players, this is just this certain beautiful slice of sci-fi chaos.
The announcer is your big gameplay moments, your game modes, just like the way it was before.
Play. Capture.
Personal AI is really a reflection and information for the player.
Personal AI. Designation button.
So if a player grabs a flag, your personal AI is going to tell you to, get that thing back to base and give you some like moment-to-moment updates.
Our team took the enemy flag.
What if we can let players choose their own AI, and each one of those are different voices, so that players can find the one that fits their personality and their mood the best?
They add to the sense of like me as a Spartan being more important, and for us in multiplayer it is really about becoming a Spartan. You're Spartan. You are you inside of the Halo universe.
The body of customization content that we have on day one ensures that there will be millions of customization combinations for Spartans on the battlefield. That includes things like armor coatings, armor emblems, various armor effects, down to the individual armor pieces. So your shoulders, your gloves, your knee pads, your helmet, your visor, your helmet attachments. Then you look at weapons, and we've got a whole slew of customization offerings there. Vehicles have a huge pool of customizations too. We support customization in the game. Players can do the same thing on HaloWaypoint.com, as well as the Halo Waypoint app.
The player also customizes the Spartan, the soldier inside the suit. We want the Spartan to represent the player as much as possible. They can change their body type and their voice, as well as choose prosthetics for the first time.
Coatings offer us a unique opportunity to craft some hyper-polished looks and let you express yourselves in ways you've never been able to before. We're coming at this from a player-first mentality. So what that means is that there's no random loot in this. There's no loot boxes. It's very important to us that everyone understands exactly how they unlock customization content, and we have a variety of places where they can do that. First off is the Battle Pass.
The Halo Battle Pass will never be taken away from you. And what I mean by that is once you buy it, it's yours and does not expire. In future seasons, you can purchase old battle passes as well as the current battle pass and choose which battle pass to put your progression towards.
All of these rewards are single source, so you're never going to be confused about where things come from. If you can unlock something in the Battle Pass, we're not going to let any other players circumvent that by purchasing it out of the storefront.
A lot of our stuff is unlocked through playing the game and only through playing the game. All customization is just cosmetic.
Every season will have its own theme and introduce new components, new looks, new gameplay for players, new opportunities to earn and collect cool rewards. We've seen the Samurai already. That's one of our event armor cores, and that's going to be something that players can earn through gameplay for free.
With us going free to play for the multiplayer part of the game, like that was a big goal because, you know, how do we have a way we can always bring players in, right? And they can, when we have a new update, they'll just dip their toes in if they even just want to see it.
Not only are we free to play, but we're free to play on PC as well as console. And what that means is we're able to get the biggest audience we've ever had. Everybody gets to play with no barriers. And even better, your progression carries from one platform to the next.
Getting our game to be on PC and console at the same time is an amazing chance for us to really just kind of excite new players about the game. How can we do things like make cross-play interesting, and like even in just customs, being able to just play with your friends. That like some people have PCs and some people have consoles, and like let them talk to each other, let them be friends.
Why are you here?
To be a Spartan.
The Academy is a place that you can go within MP to kind of onboard into the experience. It's great for newer players who are still picking up the controls, and also people who want to warm up before they head into matchmaking. It's a series of experiences, both a tutorial to get started for the first time, weapon drills to practice with specific items, and also training mode that you can use to just get warm, explore the game as you want to.
For players who are new to Halo, let's help them learn what this universe is about. Some of these characters, what are they about? And help them kind of know the vocabulary that people have been speaking for now almost 20 years, so that when they come in there, they don't feel like they're behind everyone else. They can kind of come in on an even footing.
I mean, I'm super jazzed about bots. I think they're awesome. Our goal with bots has been to have a variety of difficulties that kind of provide a good training partner for wherever you're at in the experience.
Partnering with our players on the road to launch and after launch is absolutely critical, right?
I mean, Halo's always been about the community conversation.
We want to make sure we hear our players, make changes where we can based on that feedback, make sure the game is ready for launch, and then even beyond launch.
What I'm genuinely excited about is taking the game out of our hands and putting it into the community's hands. You know, whether it's seeing what people make in Forge or the content that they're able to create with theater, watching streamers go after the game.
To get involved, you go to haloinsider.com, put in your info with your gamer tag, and we should be able to reach out to you if we want to invite you to a Halo Infinite flight.
We feel like we've got a pretty good selection at launch and what's going to be there for our fans. And this isn't going to be something that is just a static set of items. We have some new stuff in the works already, and just can't wait to really get into that as soon as this game comes out.
New maps, new modes, new ways to customize your Spartan. Launch is just the beginning. Now we're just going to be able to talk, interact more frequently, and that's just going to be great. That is the future of Halo Infinite multiplayer.
Thank you to the community for all their feedback over the years so far, and I'm looking forward to the road to launch itself, and beyond.
Damn, boy. Damn. That was awesome. That was totally worth... My God, there's so much to break down in that. Oh, bro. Okay, now there's probably going to be...
Play it day one with Xbox Game Pass.
There's probably going to be a fallout of some information, right? No, probably not. Well, that was like, what, 13 minutes? That was the premiere of... Yeah, about 13 minutes. I kind of want to watch that again. There was so much to... And this time we'll sit here and really break down stuff in like a live analysis. But that was really neat. Let's go ahead and break this whole thing down, man. This is a new map. I'm probably going to turn off the music because I'm probably get annoying. But yeah, this looks like the map. I think I've heard it called Hydra. I don't think it's actually called Hydra. Maybe just Axis. But anyway, this is one of the map. We have a super chat real quick. Notice how the Spartan shields glow brighter at the point of bullet impact. Yeah, that's something I have noticed. I saw in the gameplay yesterday that when you shoot the head turns all yellow. So maybe when you're shooting, you can quickly identify which part you're actually landing shots on, which is pretty cool. They've really thought about going in depth with this kind of stuff. And as you can see, you know, when the player dies, they drop the skull and their weapons. And, oh my god! Wait, we already know that, don't we? Yeah, okay, yeah. The spike grenade is back. I forgot about the spike grenade completely. This looks like the same map, Axis, or actually with that text right there, it looks like it says Hydra, actually. So this map might be called Hydra, or I don't know, we'll just call it Hydra Axis for now, just because this is the first map they revealed, but I'm pretty sure it looks similar. But one thing we haven't seen on this map is this big exposed window. So, yeah. This map looks like that, I don't know what, we should start coming up with nicknames for these maps, but this map looks like the big team battle map that we saw earlier, so it's kind of looks like Zeta Halo, you know, obviously. There's a lot to break down in this, my gosh. Okay, so, yes, this map. I thought that map was maybe a Forge map, but under closer examination, I'm pretty sure that's just how it looks. You know, from far away, you know, it's just needs a little bit of work maybe, but optimizing the map, making it look cleaner and stuff. But yeah, this must be the Academy map, right? I don't know. We'll call that, yeah, this is the Academy map. So Academy is a new mode where we can train with bots. In fact, there's a whole section where we're actually going to be able to customize the bots and add different amount of bots with different amounts of equipment, and you can actually change I think it can change your gender, but at least body size, and certainly gender. I mean, that's been available since Halo 3, so I wouldn't worry about that. Some people said nope, no female Spartans, but no, I want to worry too much about that. Let me probably decrease the size of this a little bit and maybe move it over here. So not much to really. That was a bulldog, by the way. Let's actually play some of the audio here.
Kill assist.
Any pistol across any of the games. Whatever gun allows me to feel the most like John Wick, I am there.
So someone said pistol stars. I don't know if that's true. By the way, player count was confirmed yesterday at 24 players total. So Big Team Battle 2.0 is looking pretty gnarly. All right, there was the Razorback that we saw, which we will get to, but that vehicle, actually you can put stuff into the vehicle, like the flag or objectives. Maybe put a bomb in there and then grab it when you jump out. Really cool, but we'll talk about that soon.
How excited.
There's the rocket. My god, it's beautiful. I think that's the rocket launcher, or is that the skewer? I can't. That might actually be the skewer.
Big combat with.
No, that's the rocket launcher. Yeah, I just saw there. Yeah. That is definitely the rocket launcher. If you notice when you aim in with the sniper, there's a glare to reveal your position, like in Call of Duty. And he mentions the BR at the end, Battle Royale. He mentions BR. Okay, maybe I missed that. I think I missed that, you guys. But they mentioned Battle Royale here. That's interesting. By the way, if you're just tuning in, we're recapping the Waypoint multiplayer overview of Halo Infinite. This is brand new gameplay that we did not see yesterday, but rather is just a few minutes old. So, yeah, let's keep going.
It's going all over the place.
Halo means something different for everyone, right? I think that's what makes Halo great.
It's 12 versus 12 players.
What is Halo multiplayer? And for me, it boils down to this tight arena-style combat and big team battle, this wide open, vehicle-infused kind of combat. We're taking that awesome legacy or classic Halo combat experience and modernizing it in ways that'll feel fresh to old players and really exciting to new players. We're going to give you great ways to customize your Spartan, really make your super soldier your own, and we're kicking off a journey, an experience that's going to evolve month to month, season to season, year after year.
Heck yeah.
For me, working through this multiplayer of this game, and the toughest challenge I think was really about how do we respect the legacy of what came before us, but still build something that feels new.
We've tried to bring all these elements of legacy and of where Halo can go next.
So I wonder, like, I love seeing maps in Halo that aren't just the same thing over and over and over. And in this case, we got something completely new. It really reminds me of Halo 2's maps. You know, Halo should not just be metal facilities. I'm so tired of metal facilities. We actually have a comment here on the topic of bots during the season of Season 6. A friend of mine found some strings and bots and bot count in the MCC menu. Maybe a cut prototype. Absolutely. So we'll get to that later. But yeah, bots are going to be making themselves into custom games, as well as this new training mode that is ran by Commander Lorette. You can actually see some of the new armor. There is Noble 6, baby. The Mark 6B, I believe, helmet. But the first part of this game is actually going to have the first season, when this game launches, is going to have Heroes of Reach. And that is going to be the season DLC. So what you see, and they talk about the battle pass, which I don't quite fully understand yet, but I don't think you need to buy anything to get this armor here that you see. The Reach armor is just going to be the first batch of armor that comes out with the game, I believe. Technocraft says, pretty sure they brought back the Halo 3 map Valhalla, the BTB map you were talking about earlier. Yes, so we could call that Valhalla 3.0, I guess, for now. But that's a great observation. I talked to Infinite Forge just about that yesterday. That map does appear to be based on Valhalla and Blood Gulch, I believe. But it's like a new, more closed-in version.
The vision of
And here, look at those light rays, man. That looks absolutely
Arena was
beautiful.
all about a tight.
And we actually see something on the HUD there. I don't know if y'all saw that. We actually have a few things to break down here, but let's take a look at that again. Maybe we should go ahead and put this in slow-mo. What do y'all think? That way we can really see every little thing happening. And since it's in 60 frames per second, we're really getting a lot of clean detail. Right here, there seems to be a skull floating on like what looks like a weapon holder. Probably going to be something in Forge. And this player is holding, it has the Combat Evolved helmet. Very cool from Reach. Very, very cool. And then here's the Bulldog at work. You can really see how actually not powerful it is at a range, because when I first saw this, I thought this was very OP. Probably for campaign, it is OP. But this weapon is meant to be like a Mauler kind of weapon. Just rapid fire Mauler from like Halo 3. It's just going to be very weak away from the players and very strong close up. So you don't want to get close to a player that has a Bulldog. But see, look, he's missed quite a bit, but still, like, the shots he's got have been pretty weak. And then there's the melee coming in. And we actually see like a battle rifle hologram on the wall. And it looks like time is running out on it, or maybe that's how much ammo is left in that. I don't know. It looks like a weapon on the wall, right? Looks like that's Academy. Trash aim, probably. Drawing says, I didn't like how all the maps look industrial and not foreigner. I hope they have maps like Epitol and Construct. They do. Actually, the island map that we saw yesterday looked very much like those maps. That might be why you are bringing that up, Drawing. But thank you for the super chat. And what we can see through the wall, actually, I saw this earlier. I wanted to point this out so y'all can all take note of it. But there's actually a blue Spartan throughout the wall there that must be telling us where the enemy is. It's an outline. Do you see that? So red and blue colors are gone. All right, take note of that. In all these gameplay clips, we are looking at an outline, which is very, very easy to see between like the yellow and the red meshing together. Maybe it's not easy for everyone to see because, you know, but yeah. So outlines. Take note that this is red versus blue technically, but not really anymore because you are shooting, this player shooting at a green colored Spartan, although they have a red outline. So you know where allies are through walls. I like that. even though we used to have like a little waypoint thing. And then another player with a red outline. So bye-bye red versus blue colors. Hello original colors, which is always something I thought was like a little bit unnecessary, like taking over team colors. But an outline system I like because you still get that personalization. And there's actually something going on here. Looks like a preview of some Spartans. Yeah. So looks very clean, man. The lighting is amazing. I don't know if y'all saw like, actually, you know what? Maybe I can show y'all real quick because this is and now the chat's probably disappeared. Right? Hold on. This is so cool.
What am I watching, yo? 3 hours.
So I'm on my Twitter. This is by
hell
Uber
no.
Nick. But look at this. This is campaign back in 2020. This is what it looks like now.
The fuck I'm doing
It's
on
like
here looking at
night and
this
day
shit?
difference. Really, there's only a
I
few
went to
things
sleep
that have
like a
changed if
motherfucker,
you
yo.
take a
I don't know
close
if you in
look,
here
but like
not
it's just
Vaughn,
like
but-
the contrast.
Hey.
There's an atmosphere
Hey, Vaughn.
valley. These smoke pillars areas here
Times 7:30,
just don't
we
look
need the
good.
game on.
But now they do. It's very lower opacity, but it's more spread out, more white, which really gives a good contrast
Yeah,
between the
Halo.
trees that are nearly
Motherfucker,
black.
yo, it should be in the zone,
So this
man.
looks very, very
It's cool
beautiful,
and shit.
in my opinion. Gonna refresh the stream real quick. I think we just had a super chat. Thank you, Mysterian, for the super chat there. Appreciate it. And feel free to say something if you're gonna super chat. But yeah, let's go on. We're only 2 minutes into the video, so there's still quite a lot to talk about here. So here we are going inside this player. That was kind of a weird transition. I wonder if this is like the beginning of Academy. And they didn't show it explicitly. Where's the HUD? Well, here's the HUD. So they didn't show it explicitly, but I think we're actually going to be able to customize our Spartans underneath the armor, which we saw yesterday where there was 8 Spartans and Lorette